Love and Hip Hop New York Darlings, the reunion. I swear everything just happened so quickly. With Love and Hip Hop Part 2 reunion. And then right after that, the season finale of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Then right after that, Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion. Did they even let us know that the reunion was coming on? What is going? They are really trying to rush these two out the way so that we can get to Atlanta. Clearly. Okay. So what else is going on? Okay, so Safaree had walked out on the stage. Everybody was good to see him, etc. Nina started instantly. It was just like, Safaree, you're a very distant cast member. You're kind of, off to yourself. Do you feel like you have any friends a part of this cast? She was just like, that friend, the word friends is used loosely around here. And, he was obviously on the defense mode because when you have so many people coming at you at one time, of course you're ready to fight. Of course you're defensive, especially over people that you care about. I can't believe that Erica Mena was such a big storyline this season and she wasn't even on the show. It makes no sense to me. I'm just like, why are y'all that pressed over Erica Mena? What kind of stuff she got? Ooh, that dang dangerous. Danger. I'll say, my God. You're a lucky man, Safaree. That's all I have to say. Okay, so what else is going on? It instantly started with Joe versus Safaree. Then here comes Sin. She jumping in. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a real ass bitch. I'm a grown ass woman. I'm a real ass bitch. She called herself a bitch I don't know how many times. I was just like, you're not. If you have to keep calling yourself a bitch over and over and over and over again, Sin, but whatever. Let you prove yourself. Is Sin the youngest cast member on the show? I don't know. She looked just as old as the rest of them. But she might not be. These folks age. These folks live hard out there. Okay, so, so far, Joe, he was just like, I have no ill will towards Safaree and all this kind of stuff. And Safaree was just like, they showed the clip of Joseph going off on Safaree. And Safaree was just like, people turn up for the cameras. Once the cameras are around, they act a fool and show out. And I truly do believe that. He said that, on the bus ride on the way to the bonfire, Joe didn't say anything to him. But then when the bonfire occurred, all of a sudden Joseph was mad. And Sin kept chiming in, was just like, oh, I don't even know, like, what's going on right now. And I'm a real ass, grown ass, rich ass bitch. And all this kind of stuff. And you know who I am. And whoop to whoop. Just, acting a fool. And she was just like, if you have a problem with Joe, you have a problem with me. And I was just like, girl, sit down, please. Safaree called both of them clowns. Joseph was just like, oh, shut up, baby, before I have to slap Safaree and all this other kind of stuff. They asked if Safaree and Juju were friends, and Safaree was just like, yeah, I like Juju. I wish her the best. Juju cool, and all that kind of stuff. But, very much so when it comes to if it was a side she had to choose, if it was Safaree versus everybody else who was against Safaree, then obviously she would go with everybody else and, leave Safaree out to dry. Now, I'm not saying that Safaree is completely innocent in this situation. All I'm saying is that all the gang up on behavior that they exhibited here in the past few episodes when it comes to Safaree is a little ridiculous to me. He cannot help what Erica Mena was before they got together. He cannot help who Erica Mena was with, just like she can't help who he was with before her. So I don't really understand what does that have to do with everybody else a part of the cast. But apparently Erica Mena got beef with Johnathan, got beef with Juju, got beef with Sin, got beef with Joe, got beef with Mona. Allegedly. So, I don't know. Whatever. Well, like I said, she wasn't a part of the show, but she might as well should have been. What else happened? They got on Rich versus Safaree. So RichDollaz, he said that, he know that him and Safaree are not friends, quote unquote. But, he definitely thought that they had a cooler relationship than what they was. Once again, another person that feels like Safaree should explain his relationship to. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to me. I don't know. Maybe it's obviously missing parts. Maybe Safaree doing shady stuff behind the scenes that we didn't see. But like I said, whenever it comes to these kind of situations, when people talk about, oh, y'all don't see everything, this happened behind the scenes, that's not our fault. We can't, as the viewers, we can't do nothing about what goes on behind the scenes. We're just we're just giving our opinion and some facts off of what we see on TV. It's some people aren't showed in the best light. Some people, get all the camera time. Some people get no camera time. Some people do all this sneaky stuff behind the scenes that we don't get to see. But, how is that our fault? We don't know. We just judging off what we see. So, you can't get mad of what we talking about. So, yeah. Rich, went on to say that Erica is so many dudes removed from him, and basically saying she's a hoe and all this other kind of stuff, all the things we've heard before. And it was just, and Safaree started going off on his pants, talking about your pants are a little too tight to be showing out how you showing out. And he was just like, are you serious? Are we doing that? Don't you know Rich got up, child, and scooted and booted over that table, getting ready to fight. Now I say, well, Rich, it's funny to me how not just Rich, but so many in this instance, so many in this scenario, so many men, they care so much about what their homeboys think than their own woman. Have you noticed that? Straight men, have you noticed that? Like, your homeboy clown you or say something, kind of embarrassing about you or something, you be ready to fight and stab him. But it's just like, but your girlfriend can do whatever she want to do, and it's not an issue because you can care less about her. It's like you care more about your homeboys and your opinions on what they think than your own family and stuff. It's weird to me. For instance, like if you had a gay child or something, like if you had a gay son, as the father, you a lot of times you'd be more embarrassed about what your friends think than how you feel about it. It's ridiculous to me. Like the way that sick Rich hopped up over that thing. I was just like, Rich, if you don't sit your ass down, what is you doing? Child, he all backstage ready to fight when he gave Mariah Lynn no kind of emotion at all. But you gonna give Safaree all these emotion. Explain that to me. It's ridiculous. They got on Johnathan's little storyline, and this little storyline pissed me off a little bit. Because Johnathan was doing too much. I usually like Johnathan, but Johnathan, every once in a while, he pisses me off. First of all, they asked about Anais. Shouts out to Queen Anais. Anais. I love her. I'm going to tweet this video to her. I love you, Anais. I hope you're doing alright, seriously. She's just so entertaining to me, Anais. Super entertaining. She can sing too. So, they were talking about that. He was just like, she's doing better than what she was. I was just like, well, that's good. They talked about Johnathan, acting a fool and being on 10 and how he was mixing his meds with his liquor and, all that kind of stuff. He wasn't using water. And, they got on the whole situation. Let me see. He basically just brazed over Johnathan's storyline, talking about how, all the drama that was at the beginning of the season, when it came to Johnathan and Anais on one side versus Juju, then Kimbella got thrown in, then sprinkled with a little Yandy, and Sin was just sitting right there plopped up like she usually do. Cindy did not have a storyline at all this season. She's just everybody's friend, everybody's seen. So whatever. I mean, she did, you know, when it came to Joey. But other than that, no. So they got on, child, the whole Nia Lee and Mariah Lynn situation. Now, when I first saw it, you know, and I still somewhat think this way, that Nia Lee was just playing with Mariah Lynn. She was just like, ooh, child. She wasn't actually talking about Mariah Lynn in that moment, but Mariah took it personally. And then, you know, the whole thing where they was getting ready to fight, etc. So we got Nia Lee and Mariah Lynn going back and forth. Mariah Lynn, oh, you said you're going to get 10 people to beat me up, all this kind of stuff. And Nia Lee, when you've been sliced, I'm ready. It's gutted. Deaded it. You know, whatever they say. And, you know, they was just going back and forth. And Nia Lee brought up Mariah Lynn's mother. You know that Mariah Lynn's mother, you know, have had issues with drugs. And, you know, it was just a low blow. And Mariah Lynn, she also takes care of her little sister, which is her mother's child. And, you know, she also helps take care of her older little sister. And her nephew, which is her sister's child. And so, you know, I completely understand that. I'm in a similar situation with that. So it was just a low blow. I don't know why people always feel the need to go there with Mariah Lynn. But, you know, whatever people can dig at, whatever people know that will really hurt you, they go there. That's how it is, you know. If you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you. It's unfortunate. It's messed up. If I was arguing with Mariah Lynn, it's probably the last thing that I would bring up. Unless she brings up something personal about me like that. Or about a family member. Other than that, I would, you know, like, just read. Just, you know, go back and forth. But Nia Lee, she has a very nasty attitude. And, you know, at one point I really did think that Nia Lee was trying to help Sidney Starr. And she was. But I do think that Nia Lee was just waiting for the opportunity to flip out and go off. And she got that, you know. You make a lot of Nia Lee mad one time and it's a wrap and she ready to cut your head off. But with that said, was Nia Lee really doing it out of the kindness of her heart? Because didn't Rich pay her to do that? It was like, hey, if you do this for me, I'll do this for you. Wasn't it that kind of situation? So, I mean, was she really doing it to be, was she really genuine with it? Who knows? Honestly, just watching it, as time went on, it seems like Sidney Starr's only real friend is Mariah Lynn. That's what it seems like to me. But, so, you know, Sidney Starr, she started to jump in and she was just like, now, Nia Lee, you know, don't you think that was wrong for what you were saying? And everybody jumping down Sidney's throat. Kim Bella, Juju, Johnathan, be quiet, Sidney. Stay out of it. Stay out of it. Oh, and earlier, what I was going to say, what made me mad during Johnathan's segment was that Johnathan, you know, they was talking and Sidney was just like, but Johnathan, you have to admit that you are messy. And, you know, he went off on Sidney Starr. It was just like, oh, shut up. You know, you are the biggest train wreck I've ever seen. Who are you? Like, you know, just talking nasty to her. And I was just like, she didn't deserve all that. But of course, nobody had Sidney's back. Do I think that Johnathan would have talked to any of the other ladies that way? No. But because it was Sidney Starr and because she's Sidney Starr, he said it. He know he can get away with it. He wouldn't have talked to all those other ladies like that who had men on their arm. And you know he wouldn't. So I was just like, that was ugly. You know, to just kind of, you know, that's all she said was that you was messy. All you could have laughed off was just say, yeah, I am. And so are you. And that's it. You didn't have to give all that. I was so disappointed in Johnathan. I was just like, Johnathan, you're a mess. Always trying to keep your position and kiss ass on the show. But the underdog, you know, like everybody else, you're going to treat any kind of way. I've read Sidney Starr in the past because, you know, she deserved it many times. But, you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. And in that moment, Johnathan Fernandez, you was wrong. What else is going on? They talked about, the little baby that's here, Papoose and Remy Ma's beautiful little baby, Reminisce, Mackenzie. Black people are very creative with their names. That's all I'm saying. Alexis Sky, she got up there for a little brief moment. I didn't realize how long her ponytail was. And, she said that people was giving her a hard time because of her child is on Medicaid. I think a lot of people are just ignorant as hell. Her child has, a lot of medical issues, unfortunately. And why not get Medicaid? All that stuff costs thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, people are so stupid. Just, oh, God. I can't even take it. Leave that girl alone. Now, is Lexus Sky, is she free for all? Is she out there? Has she been out there in her life? Yes. And is that her fault? Yes. But, the fact that her child is sick is not her fault. And the fact that her child is using Medicaid, of course, why not? Use it. She needs it. I need it. Hell, everybody gonna need it at some point in their life. Everything keep going up. Everything in life, everything is going up, but your job ain't. Ain't that so? People are ridiculous. Pat pulls up these shoes. He has, it's for the ladies. It's tennis shoes. It's at the bottom. It says one shoe says black and the other shoe says love. I thought that was very creative. But what about when white people buy them, Pat, or other people of other races who are not black buy the shoes, and it say black love at the bottom? Okay. What else is going on? Let me see. Make sure got everything. They got on Rich. They said that Rich baby mama is possibly facing 20 years. Whoo, Lord, I would go crazy. Bless her heart. They talked about the fact that his Rich daughter, which is Miracle, the baby mama's oldest daughter, said that she gonna take care of the little one. Rich was just like, no, it's not gonna be her responsibility. She's gonna finish school, etc. So, Rich, who's going to be in charge of those other little girls? Because to my understanding, I believe that Miracle has all girls. Your daughter's the oldest, and then it's 2 little girls. So, who's going to take care of the little girls? Rich. Talking about, she can't do it. And I understand, she is, whatever, I understand that. But somebody need to do it that's responsible. There's also 2 daughters coming up. Why don't you do it? But you're not responsible either. Are you? Sorry ass. Rich only want to look like he doing everything he can, but he's actually not. At least to me, that's what it seemed like. Rich is selfish. I totally get that from him, totally. And he's tired and lame and a wuss and not a real man because he know he been sleeping with Mariah Lynn, and look how he treated her. Didn't even acknowledge her at all. Child. What else is going on? I think that was it, y'all. I think I talked about everything. And Remy Ma's makeup was very ashy. It was just too much. It was a lot. Y'all gonna stop beating these biological women's like that. It was too much going on. I think that was it. That was Love Hip Hop New York Part 2 reunion. Was it needed? I think so. They had a little bit more to talk about, but there was parts of it that was just boring and dry. We gonna see what happens with I'm excited to see what this whole Safaree and Erica Mena thing lands. That's gonna be something else. Is she still gonna be a Love Hip Hop Atlanta? I don't know. We gonna see. I'm Mr. Chalaki. Mr. Chalaki, Google Plus. Follow me at Iskinswear, Instagram and Twitter. At Iskinswear89 on Snapchat. Chase King on Facebook. Mr. Chalaki on Cash App and PayPal. Run me my money or run me my fade. Run me my money the way I get paid. I love you so much. Stay black, stay tuned. I'll see you guys later.